going to watch Quinn Tonole on your left playing Burn. #1 overall seed for the 16-year-old against Steven Borakove playing Blue-White Spirits, #5 overall seed. One of these players headed to the finals. Quinn, let's see how you do it with those burn spells. Going to start things off with a Bloodstained Mire, falling down to 19.
I'll say this. The games that Spirits loses in this matchup, it looks like a joke because it's like your creatures are worse and cost more mana.
It's true. It's true. It does make you wonder how much Quinn has actually played against this kind of deck, however. You know, we've seen when we've watched Steven play, a lot of players run into things like Rattle Chains.
Yep.
Honestly, mostly Rattle Chains that they haven't been used to. As here's Goblin Guy, Trigger, take a look at the top cards, and Mutavault.
Well, also sequencing against Spell Queller. When Spell Queller's in your opponent's deck, you need to be thinking 2 or 3 turns ahead about how things get sequenced.
Here's a Vial. Quinn going to very quickly untap and draw a card. Looks like he picked up another copy of Bloodstained Mire. Bloodstained Mire going to come on down. He'll sacrifice that very quickly. Fall down to 18. And he'll get himself another basic mountain. Splashes here?
He is playing with the Stomping Ground.
So no white.
And with white.
Okay,
The,
okay.
the white's assumed, and then
Gotcha.
I prefer no Stomping Ground. Most people play 1.
Okay. The follow-up will be multiple copies of Grim Lavamancer, and now here's an attack. Trigger, Island. That'll go to Steven's hand. So he's drawn 2 cards from Goblin Guide. Not so bad. Lavamancer, though, a card you feel very effective in this matchup.
Yeah, their creatures are small and bad, and they can't kill anything. So
Tell me more.
that's this analysis and much more.
Yeah.
Although I think Tonole's hand is now. Oh, he has a spike left, but he's a little heavy on lands.
Okay.
2 lands left in hand.
Plains to draw here. Well, there's definitely a Wooded Foothills. I think I saw 1 spike, potentially 2. Well, we'll see how he elects to use these Grim Lavamancers. Young man off to a nice start here in the semifinals. Steven trying to play catch-up. See where Steven wants to go now. He's got that Vial on 1. Maybe he goes to Thalia. He's going to go to Selfless Spirit. Okay. Tonole will draw. Looks like he picked up a copy of Boros Charm. He's going to play a Wooded Foothills here. Going to sacrifice that Foothills. Might see him go get Sacred Foundry this go around. It will be Sacred Foundry. Enters the battlefield untapped. Now, of course, this deck does have some 1-mana spells, most notably Mausoleum Wanderer. That can slide through the Vial here. And here's a Lavamancer activation to go after the Selfless Spirit. Selfless Spirit, in response, will go active once the Mausoleum Wanderer hits the battlefield. Now this is a Lava Spike, and this is a Lava Spike. Looks like that's going to resolve, and now here's a Goblin Guide, and now there's the attack, Indestructible. Don't love the attack there, I don't think.
Yeah, so my preferred sequencing there would have been just first order of business, cast Lava Spike.
Okay.
Then Lavamancer the Selfless Spirit, and then you can Lavamancer the Wanderer or whatever reviles in for 1, and then you can hit with the Guide.
Sure, okay.
But you need to get the extra card. So crack your fetch land and then cast Spike so you have 4 cards in your graveyard, and then you can use the 2 Lavamancers to shoot down 2 things.
Gotcha. Still pretty good positioning here for Tonole.
No question, but now it's, I think the 2 Lavamancers are probably going to be too much to overcome in this game regardless. But now you're in a spot where, like, Thalia could start to matter, Spell Queller could start to matter.
You're going to see Suspend Rift Bolt. You spoke about Thalia starting to matter. Here it is. That's going to resolve. And it looks like no Spell Quell on the end step. So we're going to see a Vial go up to 3, which is actually kind of a sweet spot for Spirits. Where Humans likes to have it either on 2 or 3, Spirits actually likes to have it on 3 because of Spell Queller, because of Drogskull Captain as well, as here comes Thalia for 2 points. Tonole, no interest in. Okay, there is some interest in activating the Lavamancer here. Looks like he's going to let it rip for 2. Now we'll head back over to Quinn. Rift Bolt's going to come off suspended. He's got to pay an additional 1. here's a Vial activation. There is Spell Queller. That's going to eat the Rift Bolt. It's also going to power up the Mausoleum Wanderer a little bit. Now Quinn will draw. Looks like he picked up a land. He's got a Boros Charm in hand. Got a little bit of a fear here, Patrick, that he might end up coming a little bit short, up a little bit short.
Yeah, this game's getting problematic now. And to go back a couple turns ago, I think missing out. First of all, the Mausoleum Wanderer is problematic. That could be a counter spell at some point, or at least something to play around, especially in conjunction with the Thalia. And I think just being down the Goblin Guide attack, you would have had an extra Lava Spike in your hand too, on that turn where the Mausoleum Wanderer was able to block the Goblin Guide.
Well, here comes Thalia.
I think in that spot I would like to see a chump block with the Goblin Guide.
He's not really getting much work done.
And then you have 2 cards. You don't really want to cast a spell here because he can simply sacrifice the Mausoleum Wanderer. So I would have preferred to get a second card into the graveyard, so this turn you can activate Grim Lavamancer instead of casting anything.
Gotcha. Over to Tonole will go. He'll draw a card.
Like, we're at a point now that with the resources that Borakove has, Tonole is not attacking on the ground for the rest of the game. That's done. Even if he draws a haste creature, it's not happening. So at this point, your Goblin Guides are just chump blockers.
So now he's got to find a way to cobble together those last 7 points of damage with, ideally, Grim Lavamancer activations. That's what it sounds like to me. As here's a Rattle Chains. Looks like Rattle Chains is going to resolve. And there will be nothing else. So we head back over to Steven once again. Steven will draw in a pretty good position here. And he's going to come in here with Rattle Chains and Spell Queller. We're going to see a Lavamancer activation go after the Rattle Chains. We'll see if this is going to work out okay or not. Looks like maybe Selfless Spirit starts to get involved here. Actually, Supreme Phantom gets involved. And now here's Selfless Spirit. So Rattle Chains will bite the dust. And then 3 damage will come through. And Borakove has built up a heck of a battlefield here. And I'm not quite sure, especially given that Steven has another Spell Queller in hand, if Quinn's going to be able to get this one done.
Yeah, once they get on top of you, their reactive elements line up very well against Burn.
Yeah, they really do. Steven will draw a card for the turn. He'd like to attack here for something close to the win if he can. Looks like it's going to be 3, at least with the Spell Queller, so just 3. Playing maybe a little safe. This will be a Lightning Bolt.
You just got to target Borakove here.
I think trying to kill the creatures.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Spell Queller is going to make it irrelevant, but yeah, I think you have to shift to, I have to try to kill the creatures. Another land there for Quinn's not going to get the job done, and he will concede the game. So, Steven Borakove is going to win game number 1 here over Quinn Tonole. Blue-White Spirits up a game here over Burn, and now we go to the youngsters' sideboard of 3 Destructive Revelry, 2 Deflecting Palm, 2 Ensnaring Bridge, 2 Exquisite Firecraft, 2 Path to Exile, 2 Rest in Peace, and 2 copies of Searing Bolt. Some pretty good cards here.
Yeah, so you got to just dump the 4 Eidolons. You have to cut those against any deck with Aether Vial that's attacking you. So that frees up room probably for 2 Paths and 2 Ensnaring Bridges to start off with. And I would not mind finding room for Searing Blood and Exquisite Firecraft. And the Skullcracks and Boros Charms are kind of mopey too. So easy, I think, for Tonole to find room for 8 cards that are pretty good in the matchup.
Other side of things here for Steven, it's 2 Damping Spheres, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Stony Silence, 2 Unified Will, Bust Alliance, Disenchant, Echoing Truth, Engineered Explosives, a Settle the Wreckage, a Vendilion Click, and a Worship.
So the Worship's really good in this matchup. I think you want some amount of Engineer Explosive, Echoing Truth, Disenchant. When he knows that Tonole has Ensnaring Bridge in the deck, you need a little bit to be able to get that off the battlefield. And the Blessed Alliance is great here too.
Well, those are the options there for both players. And as we get ready here for game number 2, we'll, of course, let you know how the other match is going when we do have an update for you. We expect that one to take a little bit longer, but we can tell you that Annalise actually just won game number 1 against Benjamin Nikolic. So both these games getting ready here for game number 2. And we take a moment to talk about the Season 2 schedule here on the SCG Tour. one last time here this weekend because we got a little bit of a break, man.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a break before we head out to Syracuse, which Matthias and Ryan are taking care of that show, which kind of a bummer because I miss the dinosaur barbecue. Some good food.
So, I mean, Syracuse is all right.
I like Syracuse.
I'm not shedding any tears.
Oh, wow. Syracuse heel turn. Okay.
Yeah.
Boy.
Then we come back here for
Yeah.
Legacy in September. Be covering that one. And then we head to October. We got 2 team opens and 2 modern opens in Columbus and Philadelphia. Those are teams. And then Dallas and Charlotte to round out the month. Those are modern. Then the regional championships November the 10th. You can go to starcitygames.com/regional for more information as we get a little bit closer. The November teams in Las Vegas. Should be some good stories coming out of that one. Back here for Modern at the beginning of December. And then to close out the year, the Season 2 Invitational, Roanoke, Virginia, December 7th through the 9th with Modern and Standard as the invitational formats.
There you go. We got playmats aplenty. Of course, Siege Gang Commander from Dominaria will be your standard open and standard classic playmat for our modern players. It'll be Llanowar Elves for those opens and classics, and Wizards Lightning for those legacy opens and classics. Free exclusive playmats available with entry into any 2018 Season 2 Open Classic. And don't forget about those Infinite Challenge packages as well. Go to starcitygames.com/schedule for more information. Getting ready for Game 2 here. Game 2 between Faustino and Nikolic. That's, of course, Mono Green Tron against Jeskai Control. Going to be underway soon enough. 4 different decks in our semifinals. No surprise there. You see that all the time here in Modern, which is actually what makes this format so dynamic. You know, don't expect spirits to be something that we see a ton.
No.
But maybe moving forward it is.
Burn, surprisingly, second most popular deck.
I was shocked by
0
that.
copies of humans in the top 4, with it being about 20% of the day 2 field.
Yep. Had some humans players lose playing for top 8 here this weekend. You did mention it was extremely popular.
Another excellent finish for Jeskai Control, widely considered to be completely unplayable by portions of the community.
Yes. I among that portion.
I just don't
Readily admit.
I just don't care what decks people play or assigning judgment to it.
I don't care what they play. I just
Top 8 deck had Lava Axe in it. Just do whatever.
I mean, you win this round.
Just do whatever.
I have no rebuttal to top 8 deck had Lava Axe in it. Lava Axe is a delight. Just a delight. Can't get enough of that. See if Quinn can tie things up here as he takes a look at his opening hand. Got off to a pretty decent start there that game.
Yeah, he was up to he flooded out a little bit, but his opening was great.
All right, it's a mountain, it's a Goblin Guide, it's a trigger. Supreme Phantom is the reveal. Vial is where Stephen will start things off, much like he did in the first game. Guide, trigger, rattle chains. Quinn, I know that's there. That's the play around. Follow up. Grim Lavamancer, a little short on lands this game is Quinn. Back over to Stephen, we're going to go. Vial on 1. Well, okay.
Okay.
It's going to be one of these, huh?
One of these. Get busy with that Lavamancer.
He doesn't want to. I know you would have gotten there with that. I think you're probably pretty happy to trade with the Mausoleum Wanderer. Rift Bolt on suspend. Here comes Mausoleum Wanderer.
It's not. I mean, you have to draw a bunch of fetch lands in a row to turn that Lavamancer on because you need to get cards into your graveyard and then also be able to Lavamancer and play a spell in the same turn for it to be any good. So,
let's see what we have here. Is that a Thalia? That's trouble. This is maybe my favorite upgrade to the deck. You think when you're playing spirits, you're forced to play all spirits. That's not actually the case.
Right.
You know, I think in that spot we might even see Phantasmal Image a lot, but the reality is you can play non-spirit creatures, and that's exactly what we're seeing Stephen do. Rift Bolt coming off a suspend. Let's see what we got here. Well, Selfless Spirit. Trigger. On the Mausoleum Wanderer. Now the question is, do you want to sacrifice the Selfless Spirit, or do you want to sacrifice the Mausoleum Wanderer? It's going to be the Wanderer that's going to counter the Rift Bolt. Had to pay 1, of course, because of the Thalia. Draw a card. Looks like Searing Blaze to draw.
And now Borakove is on top with a Thalia, and if his hand's any good at all, it's going to be a runaway.
Yeah, and getting the Thalia off the battlefield is going to require at least 2 spells, right? Because Selfless Spirits will take care of the first one.
Right.
So then the next one's got to do it. Or at least a spell and a Lavamancer activation, something like that. So this isn't getting any easier, as now here is Supreme Phantom. Keep in mind he played Supreme Phantom even though he has a Vial on 2. So that's bad news for Quinn. And Boros Charm not being a land is bad news. Rift Bolt on suspend, pass that turn back. Gonna Vial in something here. It'll be a Rattle Chains. So creatures are going to get a little bit bigger, of course, because of the Supreme Phantom, as Vial ticks up to 3. Borakove will play a Moorland Haunt. We'll see how Steven wants to attack here, as he's looking to make his way to the finals of this Open with Blue-White Spirits. He'll activate the Vial right away. And that'll be a Drogskull Captain. 2/2. And of course gives all your spirits +1/+1 and hexproof. And he's feeling confident enough to attack with all the creatures. And I like the idea of let's just try to get this game over with now.
No question.
No reason to waste any time. I've got an advantageous board position.
Can you double block the Thalia here?
You can.
I mean, I don't think there's any coming back from this from Tonole's side, but that's where I would start.
I think that is a reasonable start. It looks like it's just going to be a double chump block here. And if that's going to be the case, I think Tonole is maybe waving the white flag here, knowing that he is beat. Rift Bolt will come off to suspend. He'll have to pay 1 to kill something. Going to go after Thalia. Selfless Spirit will exchange with the Rift Bolt, leaving Thalia on the battlefield, which means I don't think Tonole will get to cast another spell. Steven Borakove is going to win this match over Quinn Tonole. 2-0. Blue-White Spirits will take care of Burn. And for Steven Borakove and all you Spirits fans, maybe this deck is better than people think, as it wins. It wins, and it's on to the finals as we get ready to move on to our other